Now, after we got the letters from Vijaya and the Jayanti closed down, and I tried to make some money out of selling painted greeting cards. What happened was, my production manager friend, a very good friend of mine, Mr. Shankar Reddy. So, now after I was sent out from Vijaya and Jayanti closed, and I painted those cards which I told you. What to do at this time? Mr. Shankar Reddy, who was a production charge and who was a very close friend of mine, he somehow wanted to see that I was a director, and he knew some big people there in Kurnool and Ballari, Mr. M. Lakshmikant Reddy and H.V. Sanjeev Reddy. They owned theatres. Mr. Lakshmikant was the Jilla Parishad chairman there. Mr. Sanjeev Reddy, they are all very, very rich people, very capable. And Mr. Shankar Reddy said he will talk to them and ask them whether they can come and produce a picture under my direction. I said, wonderful. So, he went and he talked. Very interestingly, they said yes. I went to Kurnool, I went to Ballari, and then Hala Harvi, that is the village. I went, Mr. Sanjeev Reddy, Lakshmikant Reddy, they are all happy. Okay, we are interested in doing. And the arrangement was that because it was my first film, the film will have to be supervised by Mr. K. V. Reddy. And we told Mr. K. V. Reddy, sir, here is a producer, they wanted to come, and so this is thing. He said, no problem, I will definitely be the supervisor. So, we made all the arrangements. Finally, they came. Now, what happened? There was a problem. While Jayanti Pictures closed down, Vijaya Pictures, there was no picture, and there was no what you call, usually any success makes in the industry together, and any failure, there is a cold relationship between them. I do not know what happened. It looked as though there was no prospect of again Mr. K. V. Reddy making a picture of Vijaya. I do not know. Something had happened, but they are all friends, but there was a problem of making a picture, and K. V. Reddy himself was feeling that he had to make a picture, try to make a successful picture, and at least retire as a man who made a successful picture. So, when actually Mr. Sanjeev Reddy and Lakshmikant producers came and met me, I said, since he is going to be the supervisor, you please go meet him and then let him tell all those things. But what happened when they went, I do not know. There was a very strange behavior for Mr. K. V. Reddy. It was a bit disappointing for me. I was a bit hurt also. Instead of saying that I will supervise, he said, since it is your first picture, Mr. Srinivasa Rao can do the next picture. Why can't I myself direct the picture? So, he offered himself. This is what Mr. Shankar Reddy told me. He even put the agreements they have already made previously, and they sent them to Mr. Brij Mohan Das. There was a convention, no, these people themselves would have asked Mr. K. V. Reddy, sir, you direct the first picture and all that. But Mr. Shankar Reddy clearly told me this was the case. Anyway, the doubt is there, but still he is my guru. Though Mr. Shankar Reddy came and told me there is a problem. Then I said there is nothing else I can do. I was a bit sorry. I told Mr. Pingal Nagendra Rao, who shared my disappointment with me. I was a bit stunned. For the first time, I felt somebody whom I trusted did not do that properly. I do not know, very strangely, why I want to believe Mr. Shankar Reddy's story is because after they came away, Mr. Sanjeev Reddy and Lakshmikant Reddy went back, and they said they will come back and start the production, but they never come back. Never came back. So, I was also waiting they will come and he will do, at least I will be continuing for another 2 more years for, or at least 1 year as an associate, what to do, because I was almost getting a chance, but I was not getting. But they did not come up at all. Probably I thought it was not possible. And at that time, Mr. Pattabhiram one day came and he said, Mr. Srinivasa Rao, I have a proposal, I have got a project. Since anyway you are not in Vijaya and K. V. Reddy also is not doing any film, and people who wanted to come and produce a picture also have not come. I am making a film. I have taken the permission from Dr. U.R. Ananthamurthy to film his famous novel called Samskara in Kannada. It is a low budget film. We want to make a sort of a neo-realistic artistic film, and since I do not have any experience in director, I was a producer, but I want to direct this picture. So, I want you to be my associate for this film. It will be for 4 months on a 250 rupees per month, total I will give you 1000 rupees. That is what it is. I was perfectly all right. Some job somewhere, some opportunity I was giving. I thanked Mr. Pattabhi Reddy while this disappointment was going on. Mr. K.V. Reddy in the meanwhile got an offer to direct a film for Mr. N.T. Ramarao, for Mr. Ramarao's home production, that is NAT, and that was Sri Krishna Satya. So, all Mr. Marcus Barty, they all worked for that, Gokhale, Pingal Nagendra, but I did not get any offer. I do not know why. I was also not interested in it because probably they heard I was going to act for Samskara. Now, after that he gave me the entire narration, we gone through the novel, and then we wanted to first fix up. Some people have to write a script. Before Mr. Girish Karnad generally he I believe wrote the general script like with the dialogues and all that, but exactly visual shots will have to be written. I have to sit and write along with Pattabhi Reddy, who was the director. So, before that I suggested that we first find the locale where exactly we are going to shoot this film, so that once we have got the location and that village and is completely in mind, we can have the shots and the visualization more perfectly. Mr. Pattabhi perfectly said, and then a trip was arranged where a cameraman, I do not remember his name, from Gemini Studios at that time he was working somewhere. So, he was working from Gemini Films. He was taken as the cameraman. One Mr. Vasudev, he was a famous painter, he was from the Cholamandal. He was a disciple of Mr. Panikar, another big artist. So, he was the art director, that is all. And we are supposed to have Girish Karnad as the Praneshachari, the main person, and Snehalata Reddy, Pattabhi Reddy's wife. She was a great theatre artist. Lot of they belong to Madras Players, where they stage wonderful English plays throughout. All English plays they used to stage the museum theatre. The Madras Players was a very, very popular group. So, Snehalata Reddy was the main role in Girish Karnad. So, then that is all the casting that was done. So, we went to places, lot of places. In the novel, I think there is a place called Durvasapura. So, we went straight away to Durvasapura, how it looked. The whole village was in ruins. Exactly, there was no Durvasapura, everything mud. I do not know what happened, some damage or some fire or thing. There was nobody there, it was just in ruins. So, it was in Malnad area, that valleys and all that. So, myself, Pattabhi Reddy, Vasudev, that cameraman, and Mr. Surendranath Banerjee of Vani Films, who was supposed to do the distribution, he was there, and Mr. U.R. Ananthamurthy also was there. So, we went there and here and there, and the entire picture budget was budgeted for 1 lakh total. First print will come at 1 lakh. It is a very, very low budget picture. It was the first of its kind after Satyajit Ray has made his Pater Panchali in Bengal. So, 1 lakh and all new people, all stage artists, we wanted to take that. That was an experiment at that time. So, as we went to so many agrahars, it is agrahara, that is all Brahmin communities, they have got their own lands, they do agriculture there. So, one agraharam called Vaikuntapura Agrahara, that is where we pictured. It was a beautiful agrahara. It was on an elevation, the whole agrahara will be on an elevation with one street. and there is one temple at the end, and Brahmins, they will be doing puja and all that. Every day morning, small boys will be doing, they will be reciting so Sanskrit slokas, Vedas and all that, slightly misty. And from there, if you go to other side of the village, Agrahara, village is Agrahara, there is a series of steps going down to reach the Tunga river. It was a beautiful sight, very picturesque Agrahara village on the banks of Tunga river. So, we decided this. Now, what happened? The interiors were all small. There was just a veranda, and it has what you call a polish, no cement, but they got areco, that is the nut powder, that those are the trees that are famous there. They do something, they process it, they burn it, and with that they make a paste and they apply for the flooring. That is the flooring. It is like black marble. It was very interesting. Only that is available. All the houses were there. They are all tiled houses, small houses, agrar, all Brahmins living there, and interiors were naturally very small. So, those days we are not accustomed to shoot interiors anywhere except in the set. We have to replicate that, put a set there in proper lighting and all that, shoot that. Only when outdoors are there, streets and all that, we can go out. At least those days it has slowly turned, at least streets we go to outdoor. Even streets were put in the set previously. Now, they were able to come to that stage where we can shoot in streets. But the cameraman, he was accustomed to that sort of a work. He said, no, no, we cannot do this shots inside the thing. We shoot all the exteriors here in the village. Go to Madras, and there we will elect a 2 or 3 sets interiors and comfortably shoot there. That will be correct lighting, everything will be there. This is what he said, and because the cameraman says he cannot do it, there is nothing we can do about it. And our equipment also is very, among the equipments, Prasad equipment were there, Vijaya equipment, they are all there, they are all expensive. The lowest budget, the lowest Kannada films and Malayali films they do, that is Sujata. That is the outdoor unit we booked actually. So, they were able to come to us at a very low cost, because it is a low budget film. And Mr. Pattabhi asked me, what exactly shall we do? I somehow did not like that way we have to put sets for that film and do it in an unrealistic way. Then we told the cameraman, no, no, see, we saw in Italian films, European films, though black and white, DCK, they have all done those films. No, sir, they have got different equipment, we do not have those equipments, and even Satyajit's films all outdoors, sir, they never went interiors and all that. But we had a lot of interiors in this film. I did not know. We could not say no to him because we did not know the expertise, nor we could say yes to him because that was not the vision we had. So, we kept it aside. At that time, a very interesting thing happened. One person called Tom Cowan, he was an Australian cinematographer. He was doing a film in Greece. In Greece, he was doing only with 4 actors and 1 camera and sound equipment, about 3 or 4 techniques, that is all. One to have the boom sound, another to crank, having that is a handheld camera, 2, and 1 assistant, the director, and 3 or 4 actors, about 6 or 7 people. They go together to Greece, shoot the entire film there, come. So, he had halted in Madras, and he wanted to, because he had a halt, he thought he never visited India, he wanted to see Madras, because the South India were very, these temples and gopurams and all that were very strange to him. He did not know anybody. Now, when he was roaming in a bus, he went to Kanamara Hotel, where there was an exhibition of paintings, and one painting was by Vasudev from Cholamandal. The address are all there. Actually, those paintings they used to paint and put it for sale there. That is the main living and earning for them. So, what he did, he wrote a card to this Vasudev, that he was our art director. So, I am a cameraman from Australia, so I am an artist. You are a painter, you are an artist. So, I think an artist can meet. Can you come to tomorrow such and such a day when meet me, so that you can show me around Madras city and talk about it. And immediately next day, usually that day immediately the evening itself the post used to go. Next day morning he came at a particular spot, he met Tom Cowan, he showed some places and all that, some old temples, Parsarthi temple. He was not interested in those things like museum, the usual thing, but the beach, the marina, all those things, whatever it was very interesting from his point of view, those things he showed. And he said, what are you doing? I am an Australian cameraman. Essentially he was a documentary cameraman. Actually he was number 3 in Australia, number 1, number 2. He was a very, very popular documentary, number of documentaries he had done. Then Mr. Vasudev said, we are planning a realistic film. Will you be able to do that film? I don't know if my date suggests, because now immediately from here I am going to Greece. After finishing that film, I will come back, and after that for a long time I have got a gap. If probably we are able to accommodate it, and if I like the subject, if I like everything, why not, he said. So immediately he brought him to Mr. Pattabhi Reddy. I was also called, we went there, we met for the first time there. Then we narrated him to the story. He liked it immensely. The story of Samskara fascinated him, and that our idea and vision to make it totally in outdoor, including the interiors, really he liked it. So even if some dark patches are there, not very good lighting is there, that is better, that is more raw, more rugged than very carefully lit things and all that, very artificially lit things. He was for that. But he wanted to see the locale first. So I did not go. He was sent with a production manager to Sringeri, and he took all the photographs there, and he came back. He was greatly fascinated. He said, okay, I am going to Greece. I will finish my film and I will come back, and we will work it out. And he said, what exactly you mean PP? I like the film. If you give me some clothes to wear during that time, because I did not bring any clothes here, for now it has given me every 1 month or 1.5 months. And of course take care of my food and all that. There was no problem at all. He was in Mr. Pattabhi Reddy's house. Mr. Pattabhi is quite a big house. He had a nice bedroom. Tom Cowan was supposed to be there. So he went to Greece. After going to Greece, he came back, and then the scripting started. Myself, Tom Cowan and Pattabhi Reddy. We took the actual script and we started writing the shots, roughly what exactly are the shots, how it should be developed. And for the first time, I learnt the way shots were conceived by those people. That is a different school altogether. The European school, almost the Australian school was very much like the European school, and very near the American school, totally different from the Indian school. Ours is a totally static, different type of thing. You know where the cut is, you know how people are, very predictable, but it is not so predictable. The entire school was different, the texture was different, and it was a great learning process for me. Yes.
I first met Mr. Rao in 1969, when Pattabhi chose him to be the assistant director of Samskara. So I met him in Pattabhi's house in Madras, and my first impression was that he was very bright and very fast. And I met him on several times when we were doing the shooting script, Pattabhi and I, and he'd come to the house and help with the shooting script, and he impressed me that he knew exactly what we were doing, and he with Santanam were preparing the shooting schedule as well. And then midway through this process of doing the shooting script, we all went together to the locations in Karnataka, and we went to the forest locations and the village that was to become Vaikuntapura. So I was very impressed with Mr. Rao's discernment and his eye, and whenever we'd see a good location, he would note it, and he would be full of enthusiasm for the different angles that we could use. And so I became more and more confident that we were going to be in good hands and that he would be able to run the shoot very well.
We had to do the casting. Now, very interestingly, all the people of the Madras players, they were in that. Now it became more of a movement. It was not just a low budget film being taken, but the realistic cinema movement, the neo-realistic cinema movement in the South Indian. It is a new trend, a new genre. That was the movement. That was what was important. It became like that. And people like Lakshmi Krishnamurthy, your wife Mr. Krishnamurthy, she was the daughter of Mr. one Burra Venkatasubbaiah, who was the Reserve Bank governor. You can see in all the notes signed, rupee notes of Burra Venkatasubbaiah. His daughter was one of the countries. She acted as a widow, very interesting character. And Yamuna Prabhu and Vishalam Ekambram. And when Ammu Mathu, she only for one shot she came. She was the assistant vice principal or assistant professor, vice principal in Women's Christian College. So all intellectuals joined here. And in Bangalore, people like Dasarathi Dikshit, who was a great novelist, a great writer. Apart from that, very interesting stage artists like Mr. Lokanath, who later worked for my Pushpak. So all these new people were there, and Vasudev continued to be the art director, and one Mr. Kanakanahalli Gopi, he was the assistant director, because he knew not only Kannada very well, he knew the ways of the Madhvas, how they act, how they do the puja, how they do Sandhya Vandanam, how they all the rituals and all that, the daily habits, how they go about it, their daily life, all that he was a specialist in that. So, he was a great help for that, and he was, that is it. And the music director was one Mr. Rajiv Taranath, who came later. He was the disciple of Ali Akbar Khan, I think. He was a sarod player, great sarod player. And my editor Vasu was the editor for that. So, it was a 28 days schedule we decided at one go. All the areas, myself and Tom Cowan. We went 3 days before the actual shooting to Vaikuntapura. That is about 7 or 8 kilometers at 10 kilometers from Sringeri. So, we are supposed to stay in Sringeri throughout. All people were staying in Sringeri, and the shooting was in Vaikuntapura. So, every day morning from Sringeri having our breakfast. There Sringeri is a pilgrim center. There was the Sharada temple, and Sringeri Mutt is there. Hotels are there. Some small, there are no big hotels, small houses. They used to ask one room here, one room, old rooms where you have got a staircase and sort of upstairs, that sort of a rooms. But it was a moment everybody was interested in the film making. So, everybody used to be dressed up and all that, whether they had a shot or not, they used to be there at the spotting. So, we went 3 days before, and Tom and myself we sat, and he said we will take the shot from here. We take the from shot. He had a thick notebook, and exactly at that time 9:15 this shot, 10:20 that shot, 10:45 this shot, like that. You see the sunlight position, exactly how the sunlight is there, how the shadows are. Fix the camera and put the diagram there, put an into mark there. This is the camera, this is the lens, this is the height. This was strange, we never did it in our films previously. Even Mr. K. Viridi we did not do. Every shot, every exact position with the lens and the height, that also he noticed. From here I see he is here this viewfinder, and like that 3 days complete, including some river beds and all that, except some other village where we have to go to some Rathotsavam, except those things, and a mutt where we have to do some Annadhanam and all that. Almost 80%, 85% of the all the shots were fixed correctly, and all the entire troupe came. Sujata, they are all outdoors, they went, and I do not think they had any lights, I do not remember, everything was reflectors. Interiors, what he used to do, he used to do tape from one reflector another reflector, another reflector, like that the light was changing from there he used to light up. It was a very, very ingenious method. He was a genius. Of course, he is a documentary man.